This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
On today's Compliance Tip of the Day, we take up one of the most important concepts in compliance, yet one of the least understood, and that is persuasion. Why persuasion? Well, that's the bottom line of what we have in compliance. And small gestures can make a huge difference in communications. Think back to Dale Carnegie and his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, first published in 1936. This text was largely drawn from transcripts of lectures he made, and his main thesis was to provide concrete steps on how ordinary people could master the art of persuasion. But we've come a long way since that time, and we've had significant research. One of the leaders in the field is Professor Robert Cialdini, and he is a professor, or was professor of psychology and marketing at Arizona State. And he had 6 steps for the influence, the power of persuasion. Number 1, reciprocity. People feel obligated to return favors for those who help them. 2, authority. He believes that people look for experts to show them the way. Scarcity. When a resource is scarce, more people want it. And as a compliance professional, you can play into that. Liking. This is the Dale Carnegie point. Thank people, make them want to like you. Consistency. Consistency in your approach to compliance is going to be critical for going forward, and it's something that you need to work on. And social proof. This can be tricky, but people look to others often to guide their own behavior. This means a compliance program must have sufficient incentives to get the message of compliance through middle management and down to the troops. Simply put, if your employees see a higher revenue producer get bonuses and promotions for conduct which may violate your company's code of conduct, they will believe that management is much more concerned about the bottom line than doing business ethically and in compliance. On Monday, I looked at the current imbroglio that the Bank of America finds itself in on having middle managers who are telling new employees and junior employees not to turn in their timesheets because they'll go over the 80-hour limit that BOA has. Well, that's something that is clearly a part of persuasion, and middle managers need to be persuaded to follow the rules going forward using persuasion. This month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.